What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today I want to give you an overview of what is happening with Lucid, go over some of the data points, talk on what shorts are doing, and just if right now is a good time to buy Lucid or not. So I'm going to go over all that. Make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So currently it is down 1.77%, largely because of broader fears. So when it comes down to it, there was the retail sales that came out on Tuesday, which was very good data. And even with that good data, people were anticipating now that Powell has, I guess, some additional ammunition, if you want to call it that, to raise the rates on the next meeting, September the 20th. So there's that kind of component. But this data just came out yesterday afternoon saying credit card delinquencies reached pre-pandemic levels in July. And based on this, of course, it doesn't have all of the credit cards, but the main banks. And it does show things are going up pretty considerably. So even a 14.5% a year-over-year change. So when it comes down to it, yes, Powell might be causing a lot of fear out in the market, but now the data behind the scenes, even though retail sales was very good, shows that consumers were out there spending the money, and based on non-farm payroll, non-farm employment, they're still out there earning the money and so forth. But this data is obviously a little bit confusing to investors right now. At the time of doing this video though, there hasn't been any SEC filings, no press releases, nothing like that. So once again, that's kind of what is floating around. When it comes to Lucid's website, they did update some of their event page, so they added a couple more things, and I guess one of which is a further stop off in Germany. So of course that might mean that it's more of a success than a lot of people were anticipating, because this was the very first, I guess, tour stops, the Lucid Air Tour in Dusseldorf. I know I always say that wrong, my apologies, but that is between August the 14th and the 18th. But they did add August the 19th to the 20th in Classic Remise. Still looks like in Dusseldorf. My apologies again. But let me know you guys' thoughts on that. When it comes down to Lucid, I am very, very excited about their expansion. I know there's some other things I've been a little bit more critical on, such as demand and whatever else. But I do feel very confident based on the Q2 earnings that they are going to at least be moving in the right direction, hopefully from here on out. And with their further expansion potentially in Germany and throughout Europe, I think that's just going to help Lucid's bottom line so much more. But when it comes down to it, there still is a fair amount of manipulation, as you can even tell based on a typical day for Lucid. Almost 46% of all of the trading activity is redirected off of a exchange, meaning the dark pool. Dark pool is very much used by shorting, unfortunately, and these are all the transactions that have occurred so far. Market just opened roughly around 7 minutes ago, so take that with a grain of salt. But today there was only one so far, 333,000, but generally this is a very hot exchange for a lot of institutions to trade Lucid on. And like I said, a lot of this is very much used by shorts. So I'll give you guys an overview of what shorts are doing so far pre-market and what this kind of looks like. So short score is currently 74, utilization is 85. This has gone down a little bit, but of course that's because of Lucid stock price, but it does show $1.23 billion worth of shorts are currently out there. And just be aware that's an estimate. But when it comes to it, 23.86% of the free float being shorted. That is very, very high. And as I've mentioned, I think just Lucid is being very much heavily manipulated behind the scenes, because there's a lot of companies that don't produce anything that have a significantly lower short interest than this. So once again, just be aware. As far as cost to borrow average, 1.86%. And again, this is more of a sign of manipulation, as what you can even see yesterday based on the cost to borrow minimum being 0.35%. So there's always brokers out there just basically charging absolutely pennies or nothing at all, and as well in some cases physically paying people to short Lucid. So a lot of manipulation. 197.51 million shares overall are being shorted, and 93,000 shares are being increased pre-market. And the way I interpret this information is the fact that they are increasing on a already red day does show that they are seeing further downside. As far as options, so this is from yesterday, they haven't updated, or it hasn't updated yet with the current market so far, but $827,000 in calls being purchased versus $731,000 in puts. So based on this information right here, clearly people are kind of evenly divided. But if you compare this data with previous days, there is a significant increase in puts, meaning people are anticipating for it to trend down. If you are optimistic though, looking at the calls, so this is a grid view for the calls, has all the strike prices, expiry dates, everything that you need to know. Based on this information, it is anticipated for the close of next Friday, so the 25th right here, it is anticipated to go between the around $6 to $7 range. So this is the optimistic viewpoint. But when it comes to it, you really need big money to get in. And over the last little bit, at least on the secondary market, the frequency is definitely there, but the big transactions aren't necessarily there. And there was a big one that was done after hours yesterday, so $10.1 million, but based on the bid, the ask, it was a sell. So once again, make sure you guys always do your own due diligence, because as well, I am not a financial advisor. But when it comes down to this, so this is the latest round of 13Fs. I do believe later today, BlackRock will be disclosing their 13F, or if not, it'll be early next week, on which I do anticipate for them to have increased their position, similar to what happened with Vanguard, which Vanguard did increase their position 25.85% in Q2. So I kind of anticipate BlackRock to follow suit for that. One thing I just wanted to bring up, so Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs did increase their calls by 104.98%. They did reduce their puts by 85.52%. They also did reduce their actual physical common stock of 41.02%. But the fact that they did reduce their puts and increase their calls, I think that's a fairly optimistic viewpoint. But once again, let me know you guys' thoughts on Lucid in the comments below. But when it comes to it, like I said, what is the data saying? Is it going to pull back down? When is a good time to buy? I'm going to touch on that. So as of right now, just taking a little bit more of a view, or I guess broader view on this. So it is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band. It is well below that 50-day moving average. So it did get rejected off of that, is kind of pulling down. It's trying to find some good support. And right now, stochastic does have a bearish sentiment right now, and it is currently at 12. So that's kind of considered oversold. So if there is a good piece of news that does come out either on a market level or even specific to Lucid, this could cause it to go up very fast. But number of retail investors are getting out. But based on the momentum indicator, shows number of retail investors are getting out, similar to what I mentioned about institutions. So of course, that's something to be aware of. But looking at some of the fib levels, with it being at $6.11 as of right now, it is currently between this S3 and the S2. So one thing I have really brought up over the last couple of videos is that the spread on all of this is very wide. So you just have to anticipate a lot of volatility, but $5.76 is that next big support range, and $6.43 is that next big resistance. And at the time of the last video, I think it was exactly at this S2 right now. So sitting on top of it, but unfortunately didn't really have enough to hold it. But based on all the information that is coming out, I do feel that it is going to be touching this 576. If not, it might potentially even break this and retouch that 550. We do know since last time it bounced off of that 550 range, so that is a very strong support. But other than that though, like I've said in the past, if you are thinking bigger picture, don't worry about catching the exact bottom with Lucid, because a couple of years from now, people are going to be not caring if you bought in at 6, 5, or 7. Like, it won't really make that big of a difference. My own opinion, of course. But if you are one of those individuals to try and catch the bottom, I would say that 550 might be the next stop, if, for instance, this 576 does not hold. Let me know you guys' thoughts on all of this in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And even though Lucid goes up, down, sideways, it's very volatile some days, you can take advantage of some free shares, and that is with Moomoo. Link in the description below and also the comment. Sign up for a free account, but if you do throw $100 at the account, you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, and you also get a $50 cash reward. So this is one of the best deals that you can get out there. But just be aware, this is only available to Americans, unfortunately. If you are Canadian, though, they are actually doing a soft launch in Canada, so you can sign up for their app just to play around and stuff like that. To sign up, all you need is your phone number. No other additional information is needed whatsoever. And if you are Canadian, you can sign up to get some gift cards. So Tim's, Amazon, and yeah, they're doing a lot of giveaways for that. So very easy stuff to do. So let me know you guys' thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.